Stop right there. If you clicked on this video, it means you are interested in tasting the sweet, sweet nectar that is financial freedom and figured that we, a trader, can assist you. Well, you, my friend, are totally right. Top of the morning, afternoon, or night, depending on where you are. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And we encourage you to click on the subscribe button down there, as well as the tiny little bell next to it, because it'll keep you notified whenever we upload new videos, which will be every Monday morning. Now, welcome to this week's episode of the Tanzanian stock market in 5 minutes. We will be breaking down this market into the equity and the debt sections. All right, let's begin with the equity market, the part of the stock exchange that deals with shares of companies. Last week, the value of shares traded in the DSE amounted to 751.13 million Tanzanian shillings, which was a 70% decrease compared to the previous week. And now, quickly from this graph, we noticed that the day which had the most traded amount was Friday, where 353,000 shares of Swissport were traded in the block trade prearranged market board. And trading in this board occurs when an entity purchases shares worth more than 200 million Tanzanian shillings of a company at a prearranged or negotiated price, which is generally lower than the price which is at the market. Now, the number of shares traded last week amounted to 1,346,316 shares, and this will help us figure out quickly which companies investors were mostly interested in last week. At number 1, we have CRDB Bank PLC, accounting for 42% of the total volume traded for the week. At number 2, we have Swissport PLC, accounting for 26% of the total volume traded for the week, and that is particularly the block trade on Friday. And finally, at number 3, we have Nicole PLC, accounting for 19% of the total volume traded for the week. Now, here are companies which experienced price changes last week.
All right. Let's move on to the market capitalization and the all-share index, where the value of the whole market last week closed at 16.127 trillion Tanzanian shillings on Friday, which was approximately a 0.04% decrease compared to 16.134 trillion Tanzanian shillings on Monday. The all-share index DSEI decreased this week as well by the same 0.04% due to the decrease in closing prices for companies such as JATU and MCB. All right, now that the equity portion is over, let us zoom over to the treasury bond section, where we want to know firstly if there was more activity last week compared to 2 weeks ago. The value of the treasury bonds traded during last week amounted to 104.05 billion Tanzanian shillings. There was a 107% increase in trading in this segment compared to last week. Last week saw a large appetite of 20-year treasury bonds. These pay coupon rates of 15.49% per annum, which were sold at premium prices, with the most expensive being sold at 38.7366% premium. Last week there was a 25-year treasury bond auction, and here are the results. It was oversubscribed by 132.51 billion Tanzanian shillings. Being oversubscribed means investors came forth with way more money than what the government needed. This was largely because of the trend that shows that investors in the DSE prefer to invest in relatively risk-free securities which offer fixed income, such as these bonds. The absolute minimum price to go through was 134.4997 Tanzanian shillings. This was a premium price, as people are willing to pay 34.4997% more than the bond's face value, which was 100 Tanzanian shillings. Now, finishing off with the corporate bond section, there was no trades as of last week. With that said, thank you very much, investors, for tuning in. We hope that this video has been informative and insightful and has made you even a little bit more interested in the Tanzanian stock market. Feel free to interact with A-Trader in any of our social media platforms and contact us in case of any other questions. Have a great week ahead, and karibuni sana.